gentlemen,
brothers and sisters,
It's time for bass history in the mix.
This is a journey into sound.
pump up the volume.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Bass. Yeah, boy.
Give me a funky ass bass line.
That's my man throwing down. That's my man throwing down.
Yo, what it do? It's your boy Chuck C, man, and welcome to the Bass Show, where we bringing you the legends of the bass era, man. We interviewing all the legends of the bass era, and tonight, man, I got a special guest. Man, we talking about legends of the bass era. We talking about real legends right here today. When I tell you I got a feature legend interview today, I got a legend interview today. Man, my guest today, he started off in New York, landed in Florida by the way of Orlando, shot down in Miami and blew up in the bass scene with the rap. Hey, man, if you don't know, you got to be slow, man. My guest tonight, man, Prince RAHIEM, man, Prince RAHIEM.
What's good, bro? What's good, family? What's hood?
Man, what's good, man? It is a pleasure to have you with us, man. Oh,
Man, it's a pleasure to be here,
big
bro.
fan of mine, man, so it's a pleasure and an honor to have you.
Man, it's a pleasure and honor to be here. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I've been kind of looking forward to this interview. I saw a few of the other ones you've done, bro, and salute to you, man, and your team, man. Real talk, bro. I appreciate the opportunity.
Hey, man, we appreciate that. We appreciate that. I appreciate you, man, joining us, man. This is a history channel. We like to get to the history, right? We know that a lot of people put out documentaries about bass and different things of that nature, but don't know the true essence of bass music or the bass era. So tonight, I got a real legend that was there from the beginning, so we could talk about the whole bass era, how it came about, and some of the creators of the bass music. Now, Prince RAHIEM, he is an integral part of this thing that we call bass, and that's why it's an honor to have him here today. But let us start from the beginning. Where were you born at?
Originally born in Harlem, New York. Shout out to Harlem. You know what I mean? Harlem Hospital. So, you know, I'm a New York native. My family moved around a bit. We wound up moving to the Bronx, and I stayed in River Park Towers over there, right off Sedgwick Avenue. You know what I mean? Shout out to the BX. But ultimately, I wound up landing in Hollis, Queens at the age of 12. And it was from that point that, like, literally, prior to that, music was already in me and it was already embedded in the DNA. However, you know, it was at that moment that I really started to see the opportunity that was before me. For those who don't understand where Hollis, Queens is, it's one of the smallest little neighborhoods in Queens, but it impacted hip hop on a major scale because so many legends came out of this area. Namely, the most important being Run DMC. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I had opportunities through them, and it was those opportunities that were kind of squandered due to the passing of my partner. God bless the dead, my boy Divine, Robert. For those who don't know my story, the way that I transferred from New York to Orlando was my friend Robert was the MC. I was just a beatbox. At this time, I'm being tutored by who would one day become a legend in his own right, Rozelle, the godfather of noise, who went on to be the beatbox for the Roots, also went on to do a lot of solo things for himself. Long story short, my rap partner, he was the youngest brother of another hip hop artist from Hollis by the name of T, who was a part of this rap group called La Afros. They were managed by Jam Master Jay at the time. So we had an inside track, and T was telling Rob and us like, yo, tonight y'all need to pull up to Jamaica Park. Running them is having tryouts for this tour we about to go on. They need an opening act. So, you know, I'm like, let's do this, Rob. Let's get it, bro. So we go, and when we get to the park, we're not expecting what we saw. Salt and peppers in the park. Jalil from Houdini's in the park, Curtis Blow, who they say Run is the godson of Curtis Blow. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like that's why Curtis was there. He wanted to see who is Run picking to take out on this tour. You feel what I'm saying? So you got not only hip hop legends in the making, but you have street legends like Supreme and Bimmy. They also in the park. So it's thick with people. Me and my dog get on the mic and he started opening up with a little freestyle. I let him ride for 4 bars. And then I came in beatboxing, doing the Mary Jane Girls all night long. Crowd lost it, bruh. And all this is happening in front of LL, Run, J, D, Curtis, Salt and Pepper. You know what I mean? So, like, at the end of that night, they wanted to holler at us about, performing and opening up the show. But unfortunately, my boy Robert was murdered 3 months shy of the tour. And the people who wanted him dead wanted me dead as well. So my mom didn't hesitate. She got me into Orlando, and I went and lived with my uncle Howard and my aunt Sally Bell. And I stayed there, and it was like I'm going to school there. I'm the odd man out. You feel me? I don't know nobody. I'm the new man on the block, the new kid on the block. You dig? And it was that I saw these circles going on during the lunch period. Mind you, coming from New York, our schools is one building, so everything is in one building. I'm now being exposed to something that looks like a damn college campus. So mentally, I'm fucked up already. I'm blown away. I'm like, what the fuck did I step into? What the hell is this? And it started at Oak Ridge High. That was the high school that I started going to in Orlando. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Oak Ridge is definitely where it started. For those who don't know, like Oak Ridge housed a great artist that also came out of Orlando by the name of Rob. For those who don't know, and he was an R&B artist, had a big hit during the 80s. And, he was a classmate of mine. But it was through going to the cafeteria outside and seeing these different circles that I found my way, because in one of these circles, there was a dude beatboxing. And I said, that's my way in right there. In my mind, coming from New York, being tutored by, in my opinion, a dude at that time who I felt was better than Dougie Fresh. And in the beatbox world, that's a sin. It's sacrilegious to say that somebody's better than Dougie, because Dougie's the originator that we all fell in love with and still performs in tours and tears stages up to this day. However, when you think of the intricacy of the art itself, and you think of what Dougie was doing in those days in the early 80s and what Rozelle was doing in the early 80s, there was no comparison. Well, Rozelle was doing 3 to 4 sounds at one time, where Dougie was just basically doing the beat and a couple of clicks. You feel what I'm saying? So there was a difference. So I approached this cipher in Oak Ridge, and I challenged the dude who was beatboxing. Tore him out the frame, honestly. He wasn't ready. He wasn't expecting what I gave him. And, from that, a dude that was in the crowd was like, yo, you dope, man. I know this dude by the name of Magic Mike. He's the hottest DJ in the city. I need to connect y'all. I know exactly where he stayed. Y'all need to meet. And that's when the introduction happened with Magic Mike. You feel what I'm saying?
So that's where Magic Mike come through. Producer Magic Mike, DJ Magic Mike up out of Orlando, Florida. Everybody know
Yes,
him
sir.
as a staple in the bass game. If you remember, he came out with the bass CDs where you would test your speakers with the doom, 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 doom. So we all want to give a special shout out to DJ Magic Mike, man.
Yeah, we got to salute my brother. Honestly, I got to tell you, where Clay gets the credit, and I give him credit for his part. me being an artist and actually being an MC was because of my man Divine passing away and me vowing to pick the mic up in his honor to keep him alive, but also because Magic Mike pushed me. He heard my vocal tone and was like, man, aside from beatboxing, that man, you got a dope tone. Like, I think you would be a dope MC. Like, you need to start writing your own stuff. So, you know, I started, and Mike was, for an Orlando cat, he was so tied in with New York hip hop. So it was easy to work with him. We decided to form this crew. We called ourselves the Get Funky Crew. And we was going around Orlando literally tearing up every spot we went to. We had a routine where he would do some cuts and then I would battle him as a beatbox doing the same sound effects with my mouth that he was making with the turntables.
Now come on, everybody, let's say go.
We would kill the crowd every night. Anywhere we did that set, we tore them apart. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, literally had them wowed. Because you talking about 87? So really the only beatboxes people were able to see up close and personal was a Dougie Fresh. Most of the time they saw him just on video because he wasn't touring in the South at that time. And the only other one we knew of at the time, the only other two that we knew of at the time, well, three, was Ready Rock C, who beatboxed for Will Smith. You had Buffy of the Fat Boys, and you had the Human Jock Box from the Skinny Boys. So those are the only beatboxes people knew of. And now you had me in Florida, and it's right in your face. So it helped to build a name for me and Mike. Mike already had a name, but it helped to create a name and buzz for me.
And I just want to let the people see and understand exactly what you're talking about when you're talking about being the beatbox and how great you was at it. Y'all check this out.
I want you to show these people that you real funky on the beatbox system. You know what I'm saying? You got about 30,000 out there. Get busy with the beatbox system one time.
Yo, y'all with it? If y'all with it, let me hear you say hell yeah. Say hell yeah. Say hola, hola, hola.
Say
Hola, hola, hola.
bust it up. Say ho. Say ho, ho. Bust it up.
My name is Benjamin Aura. What's up?
You know when we was in Disney World?
Yeah.
I want you to show these people how you had Donald Duck laughing, cuz. What he was doing? Now come on, everybody, let's say don't stop. Somebody say don't stop. Somebody say don't stop. Bust it. Hold up.
What's up?
Big Daddy Kane on this show too, right? Huh?
What's up?
Big Daddy Kane on this show?
Yo, I guess so.
Hold up. I want you to do one Big Daddy Kane with your mouth for me.
Yo, can I get a little bit more volume on
Get
this
some
mic?
volume here on this
1,
mic
2,
here.
1, 2.
Put some bass in it one time. Now, somebody say ho! say ho.
Yo.
Hey,
It's about
man,
time.
you talking about your partner can give him a run for his money. You might be able to give Dougie Fresh a run for his money, man. You
Man,
talking
listen,
about your
bro.
mentor can give him a run for it. I believe you could give him a run for his money, man.
Man, I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate you so much, man. You know, again, I come from the true core and essence of this music. You know, the mecca of hip hop. You know where it all began, New York. And I watched it grow from the onset. So I'm embedded in the DNA of this music, you know. So I went through all the phases. You know, I was a b-boy. I know what it is to be a popper and, you know what I'm saying, go to battles and be going up against other dance crews. You know what I'm saying? The graffiti, the tagging. I did all of that. That was a part of who I was as a youngster. And all I did was when I went to Florida, you know, it was in Orlando, as I stated, man, you know, uh, it's funny that show, man. It brings back great moments and memories because it was the night that defined me as an artist and literally made me a household name. However, to get to that moment, it was going to Civic Center in Orlando. Me and Magic Mike, and I was performing. It was a talent show. We didn't know on the other side of the Civic Center they was having a full-fledged bass concert that night. Clay D, ADE, Afro-Rican, Half Pint, a whole bunch of people, BVSMP, a whole bunch of people on the show. They're on intermission as I'm on stage beatboxing and everybody came over. And you had Alan Johnston from the Southeastern Music Conference approach me, Dickie Hazley, but the one who really pushed the issue the most was Clay. And like I told him, I couldn't make any moves nowhere without my DJ. Because before anybody believed in me in that state of Florida, Mike believed in me and he saw something different in me. You feel me? And he wanted to rock with me. So that's what we did. We formed a brotherhood. And you know, dog, I'm gonna tell you something. He was one of the greatest influences in my career as well. A lot of people don't know, like when we were making records back in the days, we were there from the onset. Once Clay flew us into Florida and into Miami rather. And when I say from the onset, I mean we were behind the Boot the Booty record.
Ain't number tutti fruity. Get on the floor if you got that booty.
Get funky. Get funky. Get funky.
Play.
Get funky. Get funky. Get funky. Get funky.
Play.
Get funky.
We were behind Stomp and Grind. I wrote that record. I penned that record for half.
All the latest dances that just came out. You put your boogie in your butt and scream and shout. I say you have to stomp and grind, so let's get to it. If your butt is flat, then you can do it. You've been on the beat for a long while. Now I'm gonna rock a brand new style. For all you party people that dance for you. If you can do the creed, you can do this too. Get the feel in your body as I bust this rhyme. And all it is do it, stomp and grind. Stomp and grind.
You know, Clay did the beat. Magic Mike, when everybody hears that sample that's playing, it's not actually a sample. This is how dope we were back when we were creating records. Mike was manually keeping that record in sync with Clay's track. You feel what I'm saying? And the same thing with Boot the Booty. You know, that 124 BPM. He was keeping that locked in with Clay's track.
Number tutti fruity. Get on the floor if you got that booty.
Get funky. Get funky. Get funky.
Play.
Get funky.
Mm-hmm.
Which is difficult to do when you're talking about a record that's 4 minutes long. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes,
but
sir.
That's how on top of his craft he was. You feel me? And it just pushed me to be on top of my craft. Okay.
We had legendary producer Devastator on our show.
Yes, sir. Salute to my brother.
Devastator, the king.
Salute.
King Devastator.
Yes,
Shout out to King
Yes,
Devastator.
sir.
Now, King Devastator was the music along with Mike Fresh. We had Mike Fresh on our
yeah.
show. Shout out to Mike Fresh. Much
Yes, yes,
respect.
yes.
The big
Salute.
homie Mike Fresh. We love you, Mike Fresh. Much respect to
Always.
Mike Fresh. Both of those people told this story about going up to a Vision record. Devastator was the music, the beat, the hooks behind Half Pint. You were the lyrics behind Half Pint. Who is Half Pint that he is so bad that he could get a record deal and he don't make beats and he don't write lyrics? Who is Half Pint?
Dion. That's who Half Pint is. Dion, my dog, my little bruh to this day, man. Half Pint was a person who was in the mix. Super cool with Cool Rock and Jazzy Chaz, and that's how I met him. When Clay flew me and Magic Mike down to Miami. We were hired to come in and assist Cool Rock and Jazzy Chaz with the record they were working on. And once Boot the Booty was created, it took off and we started touring. So everywhere we were going, Half Pint was with us. And Half Pint would be on stage. And you got to understand, this is a little short, light-skinned dude who had goals in his mouth, little fresh haircut, and he wasn't a performer, but every time he would come out on stage when we was on the road, the girls would go fucking crazy. Like he was just hyping up Cool Rock and Jazzy Chaz, but the girls were going bananas on him over him. So it made good sense with the label, and we need to do a record on this little nigga because he has a look and he got an image already. He has a presence, and it was like putting a match to a rocket. You feel what I'm saying? Giving that rocket the fuel it needed and just hitting that button to ignite it. Once I helped him with his first record, which was Stomp and Grind, the rest was history because that was the only record that Clay and I did together for him. You feel what I'm saying? Devastator then came in and Devastator began to create other records for Half Pint. Big Booty Hoes.
Big booty house, been on over and touch the damn toes. Come on. Big booty house, been on over and touch the damn toes. Big booty house, go. Big booty house.
And stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Which was one of his biggest hits, One Leg Up.
Let's do it. Half Pint, want you to hold that leg up. Pick it up, come on now. One leg up, one leg up, one leg up. Jump around.
Another one of his big hits. At this time, you can tell there was a difference in the cadence, in the style, because Dion had, at that point, started writing his own lyrics. But who is Half Pint as an artist? One of the most energetic, fiery entertainers that ever graced a stage. Now, what most people don't know is, although I was able to write a record like Stomp and Grind for Half Pint and, be a part of that greatness, the one thing that people didn't know is that I couldn't really rap over bass beats. And they may say, well, damn, you wrote Stomp and Grind, how you couldn't, rap over bass? It was the same, but it really wasn't. For me, when I computed Stomp and Grind in that track, it felt more like a Run DMC track. And if you listen to the way that I did the cadence on it, the cadence on Stomp and Grind was that of a Run DMC flow. So it was something I was familiar with. But me as an artist personally, that's not what I wanted people to hear from me and say, oh, that defines him as an artist. That's his sound. I hadn't discovered who I was as an MC, so I'm still trying to figure that out and figure out how I want to present myself to the people. So lo and behold, we do a bunch of stuff. We've done Boot the Booty for Cool Rock and Jazzy Chaz. We've now done Stomp and Grind for Half Pint. And now we're in the midst of working on our first full-length LP, You Be You, I Be Me. And I don't know how to rap over bass beats yet. If people really go back and they listen to that project, although there were some up-tempo tracks that I did flow over, they were really mid-tempo tracks because I hadn't found my niche. And Clay was ingenious enough that the hit that we had off that album, which was Rock the House, Ugly People Be Quiet. Clay rapped that song and I beatboxed. That was our first single. All I did was beatbox on that record. I never spit a verse. It wasn't until the Move Your Bodies and all of those To Be Reals, which was a slower tempo record, so it made it easier.
Now when I step into the place, I really move the crowd. I cannot keep it to myself and take my rhymes aloud, cause I can say a fresh rhyme, which is known to be deaf. And when I leave the party, there'll be nothing left, cause I'm a rhyme connoisseur and I start pursuing. I'm very curious, so I may ask what are you doing? My music and my rhymes, I want the people to feel, cause I've learned from the start that you got.
That's a New York type feel, so I can do that. That's easy. It wasn't until we did
I gotta stop you, which was one of my favorites that got to be real, man. That was something that I played on repeat. Man, that is a hot track. But continue.
Man, I thank you, bro. Yeah, man. So, you know, and I appreciate that, bro. Real talk. It wasn't until our second LP, Shake Them Titties, that I kind of began to find my niche. With this project, at this time, Magic Mike has now exited stage left. He left on the first project before it actually got completed. So who wound up coming in was a DJ who is now one of the biggest producers out of the state of Texas, who goes by Big Swift. Back then, he went by the name of DJ Doc Fresh. He's the one who stands in between me and Clay D when you look at that album cover. And that's my brother to today. We working, we doing some great things. And, you know, I'm looking forward to our future together in music. So we get to Shake Them Titties. And at this time, we don't have a DJ. Doc Fresh has you know, slid off. And we're scrounging around to find a DJ. Lo and behold, at the same time that we're looking for DJs for this project, this is when we discover Mike Fresh and Tune were no longer DJing for Shy D.
Hey, yo, Mike Fresh, give me a little cue. Let me know you ready, homeboy. One time. Two time. Three time. Do me a favor.
We immediately reached out to them. Told them, hey, we in the middle of a project. We'd love to have y'all work on the project with us. We've been on tour together. We have a rapport. Let's see what we could do. And we get in the studio and created magic. We did this record called Nothing Can, the name that we used was Nothing.
time when you and I first met. It was a warm summer night that I would never forget. The way it started was so innocent, baby, who would expect that you and I would come together one day? Well, it started out so subtle by the look in your eyes. In many ways you didn't know you had me hypnotized. Like when we were together walking hand in hand, we both knew it was wrong because you still had a man. But see, we didn't care because the feelings were there, and we thought about all of the love we could share. We tried to express the exact same thing, but we were both with all the troubles that it may bring. So instead of coming out to let the opposite know, we did the little things to let our feelings show. I only tried to be there when you needed a friend, but now that we are together, our love won't end because
it was a take of a Sade record, Nothing Can Come Between Us, which was a big hit at the time that we snatched this record. Shake Them Titties is already out, and it's tearing it up. We're out touring, and I mean, Shake Them Titties opened us up to a different market because, like, when Shake Them Titties came out, prior to that, we're performing in strictly black clubs. When Shake Them Titties hits, when we're hitting the road, we're now seeing white girls on their boyfriends and husbands' shoulders, taking their bras off, flashing their titties, throwing their bras on stage. So we had tapped into a whole different market with that record.
Yes, sir. And just speaking of that record, right? Speaking of that record, talk to me a little bit about this person right here.
Oh, how could I forget that person right there? That's my brother to this day, the world famous Convertible Bert. Yes. I love that, bro. That's my brother to this day. We're still in touch. We still are working on some things. We got some things under the table that we discussed that we're going to put in motion. However, that brother there, man, he came in at one of the best times. As I stated, Doc Fresh had stepped off, and now Bert, we had been talking with him. We had ran into him a few times. He saw me at this club called Big Daddy's 119. And they had this. You remember Big Daddy's? You know what I'm talking about, bro.
I stayed off of 119 from 212, so we passed by Big Daddy's every day on the way to the house. So yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So we go into the original Big Daddy's, and they had this thing called the Gong Show. And I went in there beatboxing, and that's where I first met Bert. You feel what I'm saying? Bert fell in love with me. We coupled up. Him and Clay had already had a rapport. So we started to talk about doing a music venture. Let's see how we gel together on this record. What winds up happening is the record became a smash.
Yo, man, look at that fine female Convertible Bert talking to you over there, man. On that girl, man. Yo, Bert. I want to know who that is. Yo, look here, man. Y'all fellas worried about the wrong thing at the wrong time. Y'all get y'all mind off them beamers because they are mine. I'm Raheem. And I'm Clay D on the mic, y'all. Stepping on the stage. Doing what you like, y'all. The bass is rolling. The records are spinning. It's just like Jason, a new beginning. And our records come out so damn hot. So all you ladies who think you're pretty, get on the floor and shake them titties. Shake it. Shake it. Shake it. Shake it. Yo, Raheem, look at that lady. Nah, lady, look at that one over there. Man, they shaking them titties in the front, in the back. They shaking them titties everywhere. Hey, Clay D, check out our cleavage, man. I think that girl is hot. And she look real good on the floor. She shaking all she got. Yo, Raheem, look at the wiggle. Look how she make them titties shake. Man, those titties just too damn big. Cause are they real or are they fake? Cause this is Titty City. So let's get to the nitty gritty. So all you ladies who think you're pretty, get on the floor and shake them titties. Shake it.
Don't stop. Hey, come on, shake
Yes,
it.
sir.
I'm talking about a
Yes,
major splash, major smash hit that just tore the club up, tore all the mixtapes, all the DJs that made mixtapes. This was on it. When it came on in the club, it was the hottest thing in the club. Every car going down the street is bumping this song.
Yes, sir.
Right, this is
I
a
remember
major
that
song.
time.
And then going back to Convertible Bert, which you hear his voice on the record. And when he say, man, y'all get y'all eyes off them females because they mine, you could believe it.
You better believe it.
You can believe
You better believe it. When he said that, he meant it.
Yes.
Get your eyes off
Special
them
shout
demons
out.
because they are mine.
Special shout out to Convertible Burt, man. A
Salute to
real
my
hero,
bro.
a real legend, Miami street legend.
Yes,
A
sir.
real hero to me as a kid. He used to buy the ice cream truck and give us free ice cream. He used to pass out $20 bills, come to the park in a convertible Benz or something, and pass out $20 bills to all us kids. So, man, shout out to
You
Convertible
damn right.
Burt, man, a Miami legend, man. Y'all can check
Yes,
out
sir.
his full interview on Vlad TV. They did a full interview on Convertible Burt. So, man, make sure y'all go and check that out, man. Convertible Burt.
Yes,
Man,
sir. Yes, sir. My dog.
Raheem, you also, when y'all joined this record label, talk to me about this record label called Vision Records, and what was it that made y'all go that route?
Okay, well, Vision Records is a label out of Miami, Florida. 13385 West Dixie Highway is still in the same location it's been in since I was a part of the label. What wound up happening was Clay already had a situation. Clay had done some things with Hot Production, and he had done some production for 2 Live at this point, Joey Boy, and a couple of other labels for other artists. However, he hadn't at that point quite landed his own deal. That's when, you know, me and Mike come into play, because it's like Clay is dealing with Vision and they see the potential based on his track record. And he never had a record that really broke through at that point. The DJ Hot was a good record, but it didn't really break through. Long story short, what winds up happening is they go ahead and have a little negotiation. And Clay's like, man, I'm about to fly in these 2 artists, man. One is a DJ, one is an MC / beatbox. And like, let's see what we could do together. Wound up getting the deal. They flew us in. And Mike was skeptical about signing. He was real skeptical. The label was owned by Steve Alamo, who was also an artist himself from the 50s. And he had a little success himself. He was also responsible, you know, for the success of Bobby Caldwell, who had a record, What You Won't Do for Love.
I guess you wonder where I've been. I searched to find the love within. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let go.
You know, so a lot of people didn't understand that's through Lindsay Ann Publishing, which is the publishing he owns.
Okay.
So, you know, we signed to the label and we're putting our records out, and they were the type of label, I'm gonna be honest with you, when you looked at the dynamic of the Luke Records and the Joy Boys and all of the other labels, they literally put, you know, push behind their artists. Whereas Vision Records did not believe in promotion and marketing. They were the type of label that believed if the record stuck up against the wall when they threw it, then they were just gonna run with it. But they really weren't going to put a lot of money behind the record. So the difference between me and a lot of the other artists that you saw being very successful, like the Disco Ricks and, you know, the Half Pints and, you know, the Gucci Crews, they had real marketing and promotion behind them. We had none of that. So it just meant we were really making solid records that resonated with the streets. And we had people like Uncle Al, God bless the dead, who had pirate stations. Stephen J. Gray, who was on 105 at the time. Jerry Russian, who was program director at EDR at the time, you know, who were in our corner, you know, and we were like, sit outside of EDR for hours just trying to get our record heard. Because again, this label ain't putting no money behind us. So we had to build relationships. And this is what people don't get and understand about this bass movement. Every artist that came out of the bass movement basically became an entrepreneur because we learned how to market, promote, create great records all at the same time. We had to. We had to. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
We learned ground level from the grassroots. We were in the mud, bro. We were literally in the trenches when others had, you know, you had the profile records and you had the Def Jams and they were putting all of this hundreds of thousands of dollars behind their artists. We didn't have that, man. We weren't getting that. Me and Clay, we didn't get that at Vision, you know. So, you know, I salute, you know, everybody that came out of my era that became quote unquote a legend in their own right. Because, you know, we paved the way for artists to do what they're doing now. And, you know, like records like Shake Them Titties, having Convertible Burt co-sign that record, solidified us in the streets. That forced us to go right back in the lab, man. And what happened out of that, we pushed out a diamond entitled Pull It All the Way Down.
Somebody say, pull it all the way down, you say it. Pull it all the way down. Pull it all the way down, you say it. Pull it all the way down. Pull it all the way down, you say it. Pull it all the way down.
I was chilling out Saturday night at the Infernos. Looked up at Clay and said, what do a brother know? So fine girls on the dance floor. Said, put them on stage and let's have a strip show. On the mic was Slick Rick who had the host of the show. In other words, of steel was DJ Radio. What you are about to do may be a sin, but girl, you got to pull it all the way down. Say it. Pull it all the way down. Somebody say, pull it all the way down. You say it. Pull it all the way down. Somebody say, pull it all the way down. You say it. Pull it all the way down. Somebody say, pull it all the way down. You say it. Pull it all the way down. Well, it happened after a cool me so horny party where I was chilling out sipping on Bacardi. All of the females were freshly dressed, fellas wearing silk suits, sporting style and finesse. When Luke came up on stage in the middle of the party, and I saw the females to come and shake their bodies. One thing I won't forget was that Red Bone Slim who got flashed because she had to pull it all the way down. Say it. Pull it all the way down. Pull it all the way down. You say it. Pull it all the way down. Pull it all the way down. You say it. Pull it all the way down. Pull it all the way down. Say it. Pull it all the way down. It was the middle of the summer at the first splashdown. You had to come clean or you had to get down. The girls came in all shapes and sorts. Some came in G-string, others in biker shorts. We watched them on stage and they threw that coochie and thought she wouldn't do that in bed. Or now would she? Don't want you for my lover or even my friend, but if you want this money here, girl, you got to pull it all the way down. You say it. Pull it all the way down. Pull it all the way down. You say it. Pull it all the way down. Pull it all the way down. You say it. Pull it all the way down. Pull it all the way down. You say it. Pull it all the way down.
They got to pull it all the way down. I'm talking about a
Yes,
major
sir.
smash hit. Now that's
Yeah.
we was really, and this is the time when I realized that, hey, this guy is not from Florida. The lyrical cadence, he's talking about Florida stuff. See, the key thing that you said in that when you first started that song off, you said at the Infernos. And
Yes, sir.
we know about the Infernos. If you from South Florida, you know about Club Infernos. And in fact, it was
You
so
got to.
important that y'all did the remix, right?
Come
Yeah.
on, bitch, we know you can. Let us see you skin to win.
All the way, all the way,
Somebody say, pull it all the way down. You say it. Pull it all the way down. Pull it all the way down. You say it. Pull it all the way down. Pull it all the way down. You say it. Pull it all the way down. Skin to win. Skin to win. Got the skin to win. You say it. Skin to win. Got the skin to win. You say it. Skin to win. Skin to win. You say it. Skin to win.
Now, if you were from South Florida, you know that the Infernos used to have a thing what we call the Skin to Win contest. You had the
Yes,
Skin
sir.
to Win contest.
Yes,
So
sir.
when he said a night at the Infernos, it automatically triggered you right back to the Skin to Win contest
better believe
at
it.
the Infernos, man. And when you listening to the lyrics, he's describing a night at the club.
Dog, you know how it was, man. We had some of the greatest nights in there. Some of the biggest ballers would be in the building, from Big Daddy Conk, You know what I mean? Murph, everybody would be there. You know what I'm saying? The biggest artists, Young and Restless, Gucci Crew, everybody went to the Inferno's Lounge. So, that was just like the spot to be in, man. God bless the dead. One time for my partner, Dickie Mo, DeCamo, he was the owner of the establishment, and he's no longer with us. He passed away from COVID, I believe, about a year or so ago, last year. Yeah, man. So rest in peace to DeCamo, man. You know what I'm saying? That's a loss that we took. But, we're going to keep his name forever going through these records. You dig?
Yes, sir, man. Club
Yes, sir.
Infernos was, like I say, a legendary club, man.
Yeah,
As a
man.
youngster, we used to just be in the parking lot just to come by, like he say, and see the big names that's going in, the big dope boys from the city.
You damn
Convertible
right.
Bird pulling up in the latest ride. Big Daddy Conk, like he said, pulling up in the latest ride. It was a real car show, a real place to be seen, a place to be. Another thing you said on that record was the splashdown.
Oh my God!
Now, for people that's not from Florida that might not know, give them a little bit about Splashdown.
Listen, man, Splashdown was one of the biggest events. Luke usually threw the Splashdown, you know what I'm saying, at Virginia Key Beach. And, we would be out there. When I tell you thousands of people in droves, you talk about thousands of people. And Luke would have the top of the top artists performing Splashdown every year. So, we got Pull It All the Way Down. We had just came off the success of Shake Them Titties the year prior. And we were on the Splashdown. And that's what gave me the idea for the Pull It All the Way Down record as well. Not just seeing what I was dealing with from the Infernos, but what I saw on that stage at the Splashdown. Because when we got up and we started performing, them girls got up there and started taking off clothes.
Yes, sir. Yes,
they
sir.
get naked on stage, man. You feel what I'm saying? So, we really, it was like our music influenced the people. We didn't influence people to kill each other. We didn't influence people to do drugs, none of that crazy shit. However, we may have made them get a little provocative a little early in age, make them jump off the porch a little early. But, that's because we was young mannish men, you dig?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that was the atmosphere in Florida.
Yeah.
We South Florida. We got the weather is warm. We wearing less clothes.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? The men usually walk around with no shirts on. The women walk around with even less. Y'all seen them at the concert. They didn't have no shirts on at the concert. So y'all see that was something that was just regular in Florida. And like you said, y'all music promoted a smile, man. When you hear it, you smile. Yeah. Like when we go to the club, we go be like this. But then when a Raheem song come on, man, you go hit the dance floor. You go be, it's a difference. It's gonna be a different type of vibe come on when this bass music comes on, man. It's a different vibe. It gives a whole different feeling going off. When y'all had that Pull It All the Way Down, man, that was like you said, a big smash that even blew harder. I don't know, to Shake Them Titties in my personal opinion, but I know that the Pull It All the Way Down kind of took it a little further with what y'all was doing.
It did. Shake Them Titties opened up the corridor, because for Shake Them Titties, it got us on stages with the likes of Oreo Speedwagon and, Debbie Deb. So we were doing these tours with rock groups, It definitely bust the door open. But Pull It All the Way Down was the record that solidified us. And it was the record that actually was on all of the top 10 stations, the pop stations, the power stations. So we were on the Power Pig in Tampa. We was on, Power 96 in Fort Lauderdale. You know what I mean? So we were on every power station across the country. That's how big that record was. We wound up being in Jet Magazine up under Keith Sweat and Troop. You know what I'm saying? So it was just so much greatness that went into that record. And it was actually the first record that we had live instrumentation played. There was a guy by the name of Stephen Gray, who's a great R&B artist, producer, and he just had an ear. And we were doing a couple of records. We did this one record off the Pull It All the Way Down album that we called them in specifically to do, which was this record called Get It Girl.
Yo, Clay, man, you see that girl standing up against the wall?
Where, the one over there, man?
Yeah, she been acting all nonchalant all night, man.
Yeah, man, I've been watching that girl all night, man. She faking, man. You know what? She just need to get on out there and shake it. Get it, girl, don't fake it. Come on, girl, stop faking. You gotta get it, girl, don't fake it. Just get your body on out there, girl. Get it, girl, don't fake it. Let me see you shake it, girl. You gotta get it, girl, don't fake it. Come on, come on, come on. What's up?
However, we were in the studio and Clay played Pull It All the Way Down, the track, because all he had was the beat to it. And Steve was like, let me tickle the keys on this real quick. And that's where you hear that doom 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 boom doom 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 boom doom. All of that was freestyle right there on the spot.
Wow, wow. So
salute.
Yeah. Make sure we salute.
Yeah, man. For real.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, when you was over there at Vision Records, y'all flipped the sample that was just banging already through the city. Every DJ played this song at every park jam.
Goddamn
and y'all
right.
jumped in and came out with this right here.
Don't stop, do it, do it! Come on, come on, come on! Roll on it, roll on it, roll on it! Make time! We go, do it! Prince William and other girls on a mission. People sit back, might relax and just listen to the news down, but it is lady, you get on the phone and do what you wanna do. It's the new style, just over me, model shows the world. The game is very versatile, as you know. There ain't nothing to it, get on the phone and do it, do it! Jump around, do it, do it! Push up your one, do it, do it! Kick your foot, let's do it, do it! Step up the skirt, let's do it, do it! Wind your waist, let's do it, do it! Do your dance, let's do it, do it! Move your body, let's do it, do it! Do the world, let's do it, do it! It's the vibe, we're gonna play over, turn up. The booty shake us up and wanna rock. But it's something new for me to you until you can do it right after we show you how to work it, so don't get excited. Don't give up on it before you try it. As I said, there ain't nothing to it. Get on the phone and do it, do it. Jump around, let's do it, do it. Push up your one, let's do it, do it. Kick your foot, let's do it, do it. Lift up the skirt, let's
do it, do it. Now that was that phone. That's that phone. If you from Florida, if you from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Miami, Florida.
Oh my God.
That's that
Palm
funk right
Beach.
there.
Yes, sir.
That's that
Yes, sir.
funk right there. And then you threw in the
man.
reggae. Then you threw in the reggae with it.
Oh,
Talk to me about,
man.
Talk to me about the inspiration behind that song.
All right, man. As I said, you know, me and Clay had just separated. This was another song from the Lose My Money album. And for people that don't remember, on the Pull It All the Way Down album, there was this record on there called Keep Dancing that Clay D did.
Stop! Hammer! Clay D-Town!
And it was a little bit slower than Do It, Do It. But it sounded a lot like Do It, Do It. And what most didn't realize was I was so pissed at him when I went into the studio to record my record. I heard it in the studio. And I told the engineer that day, I said, man, erase everything Clay put on that record. He was like, what? I said, man, that record is done. Pull It All the Way Down album is over. Erase everything he ever put on that record. Take it off. He stripped it clean for me. I said, now speed it up. He sped the record up. So it went from 128 to about 132. All right? So we gave a little crunk to it now. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do something here. I remember we was riding in Tampa. We had just did a show in Tampa. Me, Crazy Legs, my dancers Live in Color, and our manager at the time, Patrick B. And we were in the car. I'm playing the instrumental. And in my head, all I kept hearing, don't stop, do it, do it. So Pat nudging me. He like, Raheem, so what, we gonna do it, do it? I said, you goddamn right. We finna do it, do it. I literally pinned that record while we were riding back home from Tampa from the show. When we got back home, I went in the studio and recorded that motherfucking song. And when I tell you, I didn't realize it was gonna take off the way it did, because honestly, the label did not believe in that record. They was like, "Oh, you believe in the record because the crowd goes crazy when your dancers go start gyrating to it. We've seen the show." I said, "See, that's what you're failing to realize. It's deeper than that." I said, "It's the funk of that record. It's the fact that I used one of my dancers, Devon, who went by the name of Get Nasty. I used him to do the reggae chant, full-fledged Jamaican. So it made sense. Hey, man, I want you to put some reggae chant on this record for me." And he just came up with it on the spot in the studio when we came back from Tampa. Jump around, pick up your hand, lift your foot, lift your skirt, wind your waist, do your dance, move your body. Yeah, man, he just came up with that right there on the spot.
Yes,
and
sir.
it fit so perfectly. We was like, dog, we got one.
And we had our own Florida songs that we like to dig in the craze too, like Dance to the Drummer's Beat.
Goddamn right.
You know what I'm saying? Things of this nature that's just was in our craze that's Florida made, that's not even known everywhere. But these songs, you will hear them in so many different, sampled in so many bass songs.
Yeah.
You'll hear Dance to the Drummer's Beat sampled in so many different bass songs. Planet Rock, but we do it our way. Like, we love Planet Rock, but we needed to add the bass to it. So you
that
hear
part.
that with the hey buddy, but you hearing that boom, 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 boom.
Yes, sir.
You know, so we like to we take it from up north, but we like to do it our way when we add that bass to it. Now, not only do y'all do the up tempo, the club, the this and that, but y'all have also some songs that talking about a little things. Man, talk to me a little bit about this song right here.
Well, here's a little story that I know is true. It may have happened to someone who's close to you. This little incident which I'm talking about is finding out who are your true friends and weeding them out. As I said once before, you know the story is true, so check out this quick example as I tell it to you. Your friends may do things you know just ain't right, but listen up to the story I tell, alright? There was a girl named Sue who had a friend named Fran, but didn't know that her best friend was plotting on her man. Always telling Sue how much of good she got, and always thinking his to let him know she liked him a lot. Until that one day when Sue left him alone and thought, I know my man is fickle, he wouldn't do me wrong. She just went out the street to the grocery store, but when she walked in the house, she caught them both on the floor, making love and lust. And when she thought she could trust, but when she found out she was wrong, a little bubbles would bust. You could tell she was hurt just by the look on her face, so just beware of some of her friends, cause what they do is just about a guy that I know whose name's having to be Paul. Now Paul's the type of guy who's always on the go because he works 2 jobs just to bring in the dough. See, Paul lives with Lisa and they both have big plans until Sam came along and tried to mess up that program. Sam wasn't nothing but a high school friend, but when he met her with Paul, check out what happened then. Paul took him home to meet his future wife and asked Sam, what the hell's been going on in your life? But Sam said nothing. As he stood there dazing at the body of Paul fiancé, his eyes gazed. Then he opened his mouth and said, hey Paul, you got a winner. But Paul didn't know he was scheming how to get her. Now Sam came around about a whole month straight, finding out the hours and days that Paul worked late. And at the same time he was rapping to Lisa, just go kicking it, and little pretty Lisa was sure enough enjoying it. Paul always worked and she was always alone, and at night she wanted me love and he said leave me alone. So Sam went over one night when he thought Paul had to work late. You know, for Sam there wasn't any type of debate. See, Sam was steadily thinking about getting up in the guts, but little did he know that he was busting his luck, because Lisa is the type who is a one-man girl. She would never mess around, cause Paul was a world. Sam began to talk and he was talking about sex, and Lisa said, hold up a minute, let me put you in check. She said, I'm engaged to Paul and this you already know, so I think it's about time that you go. But Sam said no, and went out to her with arms grabbing. Paul heard Lisa scream, came through the door clapping. So there's another story about those so-called friends who just stab you in the back again and again, cause they
See, you done came up out the club with that one. We not in the furnos on that one right there. You done came up out the club and giving you something to really think about, giving you some true stories for somebody to say, hey, that happened to me, something to ride to. You see what I'm saying? Like, now this one right here, this what I'm playing when I done dropped everybody off. I was riding 4 deep. We playing Shake Them Titties. We playing Pull It All the Way Down when I'm 4 deep with the boys. But when I drop that last one off, I'm on my way home. I'm bumping that friend. They smiling in your face. What they do? What they do, man? Talk to me a little bit about the creative thought behind that record.
Man, the creative process, actually, like, what I want people to know about me as an artist is anything that I've spit about in any record that I've ever created from beginning to currently is something I've actually either gone through or something that I firsthand bear witness to. So, of course, I changed the names and put Paul in there and Sam and Lisa, but it was actually about a relationship of a friend of mine that I saw firsthand how his partner was plotting on his old lady. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, you have these situations and you build these bonds and these relationships and you're so trusting of people. And, you know, the one thing I'm learning in life to this day is that, you know, invest in the creator because people will disappoint you every time. They smile in your face, but they'll stab your ass in the back in a heartbeat the first chance they get. And you can actually be trying to assist them. You feel what I'm saying? Trying to help them get to a better space, but they'll still turn around and cut your throat, man. So, you know, that record there was based on reality, real shit that went down. You feel me?
Yes, sir. And that's the type of stuff we need from the artists. You see what I'm saying? We got to let the artists know that we real people. We got to let the artists know that the club is only open from such and such time to such and such time. It's other things that I'm doing in life that I'm going to write about and talk about. And it's important that you put them life experiences inside the music.
You got to, man. You got to. Again, it helps the people connect with you as an artist and kind of feel that they know you a little bit more. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what I'm currently doing now, man. You know, I still create music. I haven't released anything in over 15, 20 years. But I'm going to let y'all know I'm in the process right now. I'm negotiating something with a few different people. There's 3 different situations that's been presented. And I'm just trying to weigh the options, and it's one that I'm really leaning towards. It's one that feels real good, and I think that's the one I'm gonna run with. However, these songs that I'm creating, man, this climate of this music, man, we have to change the dynamic of the mindset. These babies are killing each other out here, man.
Yes, sir.
You know, we made music that, you know, we didn't make music that encouraged you to kill or hurt nobody.
Yes, sir.
You danced and partied your ass off for them 3 minutes, them 4 minutes of that song. You go in there with your hair all laced up, you come out, your perm sweat the fuck out. You dig what I'm saying? That's what we did for the people. We would give us a life.
Speaking of putting life into music, tell me a little bit about this song right here.
You always mess with those girls who go for your cash because you don't want to learn. When you mess with those girls who go for your cash, you always seem to get burned.
Yeah, this yours truly Prince Raheem in the house with crazy legs on the side. And we gonna do a little something like this. We wanna tell all y'all homeboys out there about them girls who be out there scheming for your money. You know what I'm saying? We wanna let y'all know, for all the brothers who blind to the fact, check this out. To the fellas, here's a chance to get back at the ladies. Not all of them just the ones who drive us crazy. They try to handle us and give us no respect. I think it's time that we put them back in check. Now when we see them, it's give me this and give me that. See, give me gotcha hitting, baby, that's a fact. And I'ma tell your brothers with a little cash flow, just in case your homeboys really didn't know. Those girls be scheming for your money and they'll get ya, cause they be playing the game when they sweat ya. Asking you for money all the time, are they crazy? Get off your tail and get a job, stop being lazy. When you're not around, they're just laughing at you, son, cause they got paid and got their hair and their nails done. But if that was my girl and she started acting funny, I'd say,
loose my money, honey. Shake it on, shake it on, shake it out. Shake it on, shake it on, shake it out. Shake it on, shake it on, shake it out. Shake it on, shake it on, shake it out. Shake it on, shake it on, shake it out. Shake it on, shake it on, shake it out. Meantime, loose my money, honey.
The girls will take advantage if you let them. But listen up, homies, this is how you get them. When they approach you saying give me this and give me that, ask the female if she's ready to get black. And if the girl they tell you I ain't with it, hell no, that's when you say to her, I'm sorry love, I'm dead broke. I think it's time that we put it in perspective. Getting our pockets is the female's main objective. And she won't give up until your money is gone. And when she's finished, she will move on to the next one. So you did all the work and now you hurt. She played the flirt and left you feeling like a jerk. To many people, this is just a mystery. But listen up before it turns into your history. Some think it's cute, but ain't a damn thing funny now.
Loose my money, honey. Jiggle-o, jiggle-o, jiggle-o. gigolo, jiggle-eye. Gigolo, gigolo, jiggle-eye. Gigolo, gigolo, jiggle-eye. Gigolo, gigolo, jiggle-eye. Gigolo, gigolo, jiggle-eye. Meantime, loose my money, honey.
Yeah, I wanna find out something from all the party people in the house. Y'all ready to get live in here? Yeah! I can't hear y'all. Yeah! Well, let me hear you say hell yeah. Hell yeah! Say hell yeah. Hell yeah! Now somebody scream. Well, let me hear you say, loose my money, honey. Loose my money, come on, let's say, loose my money, honey. Loose my money, a little louder. Loose my money, honey. Loose my money. Here we go again. Loose my money, honey. Loose. Now bring it on down. Bring it on down. Come on, now bring it on down. Bring it on down. Yeah, I'd like to give this super shout out to my boy Dow G, the super producer. To my boy Rich and Big Daddy's 119, Ice-T and Baby Boy at the Rolex. To Tuck and Tuckers, Slick Rick, Dickie Moore and Radio at Inferno's Lounge. And Prince Raheem and Crazy Legs is like out of here, boy. Peace.
Overtown just rock, rock, rock it there.
15 gon' rock, rock, rock it there.
The 61st just rock, rock, rock it there.
Liberty City gonna rock, rock, rock it there.
Cal City just rock, rock, rock it there.
Brown South gon' rock, rock, rock it there.
The little tree gon' rock, rock, rock it there.
Little Tour gon' rock, rock, rock it there.
Everybody just rock, 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 rock
Hey,
it there.
that's that down. Hey, that's that down south folk, man. That's how we play it down here, man. Hey,
Yeah.
loose my money, honey.
Man,
Hey, you
that
got
record
to
there.
be a story or something behind that record right there, man. What was the inspiration behind that record right there, man?
Dog, listen, I'll be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? We're in a better space now than we've ever been. But honestly, she know that record was about my baby mom. You know what I'm saying? We were going through it and things just wasn't right. You know what I mean? It was like every time I turned around, if I had a little bit of breath, she wanted it. She wanted this. She wanted to get her hair and nails done all the time. You know what I mean? Of course, I'm going to take care of what's mine. But goddamn, you ODing now, shorty. Hold on. Wait a minute. Am I ATM? Or am I your man? What we doing here? You feel me? And when I felt like I started to get used in certain things and the relationship started going left, it was like, damn, I needed to voice these emotions. And this is how I chose to voice the emotion, and it wound up becoming a hit for me. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes,
this
sir.
was the
Yes,
record
sir.
that actually changed my life. And it was actually my first solo record, separate from Clay D. So it was a statement record. It was me also showing Clay that, bro, I don't need you to be successful as an artist, because he had this thing. We had done so many albums together up to that point. Our chemistry, we just had a gel. We get in the studio, it was like no brainer. We get in there and we're gonna make something happen. And I guess he felt, because he was the producer with the name, and a lot of people still really didn't know who Prince Raheem was, because the only time they had really saw my name was on the Pull It All the Way Down cover. So I'm still trying to allow people to recognize who I am and identify me as an artist. I'm still fighting for that. So this record was a statement for a lot of reasons and a lot of purposes. And by the grace of the creator, he helped me pen a hit. You know what I'm saying? I knew the record felt good. The producer who produced it at the time, his name is Daryl Hampton. God bless the dead. May he rest in peace as well. You know, it's a lot of greats from this bass era that we've lost. But again, this music here, this song, man, this song did it for me, dog. It solidified me, and it also set me up for the next deal that I encountered, which was a major deal with Island, 4th and Broadway. You know what I'm saying? So it did what it did, man. I mean, literally, even when the record was old, it came out in 92. I was still touring off this record in 95, 96. Yeah, man, y'all can follow me on Facebook at Prince Raheem on Facebook. On Instagram, I'm Prince Ra 305. On Twitter, it's Prince Raheem 2. On YouTube, it's Prince Raheem. Man, listen, I'm trying to do my thing this time around from a different perspective, man. And I gotta shout out, you know, my sponsor, Bolt Vodka. You know, I don't know if y'all can see that, but I need y'all to see that. Bolt Vodka. You know, this is my sponsor. So I've attached myself to a brand. They sponsor Prince Raheem. I got a deal that I'm working right now with my man from back in the days, Big Reem. You know what I'm saying? K Slash. You know what I mean? And we got some things in the making, man. I've been talking to another one of my partners. My manager has been negotiating the situation for me. And once I get off this interview, I'm actually going to call him to find out the details, the updates. So I'm kind of excited about that, man. So there's a couple of things that's kind of working in my favor. And I thank the creator for these opportunities that have been offered, man.
And we want to thank you for joining us.
I appreciate you, man.
Like I say, a real legend in this bass game, man.
Thank you, sir.
A real legend in this music thing, man. A real super legend on the beatbox. I know y'all remember early in the interview about the beatbox, man. Talking about a legend with the beatbox. Also, man, businessman, entrepreneur, man, artist. Man, Prince Raheem, man, we want to give you your props now, man. Let everybody know that you are a legend, man, in this thing. Y'all have built the table that the Rick Rosses eat off of. Y'all built the table that the Pit Bulls eat off of. Y'all built this table that they sit on and eat off of, man. So it's important that we give y'all props, man, and salute to you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much for this opportunity, brother. Thank you so much, man.
Yes, man. Thank you, man. And like we always say about this time, man, make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Leave us a comment.
Yes,
Which
sir.
Raheem song did you like the best, man? We went through a couple of them. Let me know in the comments what's your favorite Raheem song, man. Make sure y'all subscribe and hit that notification button so you'll know every time we drop in here on the bass station.
Right.
When we dropping that bass on the bass station, man. Peace. We out.
Peace.
That's my man throwing down. That's my man throwing down.